Hey y'all, welcome to the Feeling Station. It's been an interesting day in the market, but y'all, let me first go ahead and give my disclaimer. I am not a financial advisor. I just enjoy teaching people how to build generational wealth, and yes, the stock market is just one of those avenues. So this video is for educational purposes only. With that being said, let's get started. So y'all, we're doing, let's call it a market recap, right? So first one on the list today is Bitcoin. It is so interesting that Bitcoin was at, let's say, 100K on the 22nd, right? And today we made a low of 94,000. That is interesting. Well, not really interesting. We made this high only to come back down. Found support here around the 97,474 area, moved back from there, got rejected, we went sideways for a while, which, our support area was around that 98,298. Resistance was around, let's say, the 98,860 area. We traded in that zone. Guess what? 5 and 50 cross. I like that. Lower lows, 3 of those. I like to see that also, right? Looking at Bitcoin on this 30-minute chart, only to continue to the downside, y'all. What's interesting is we knew that we could possibly have trouble here at this 95,506 area, and look where the body of this candle is. That it came down to this 94,000, and then the body of the candle stopped here. Well, it wicked. Let's say that. So we had some buyers that was willing to buy Bitcoin in this area here. What's interesting is it's declining as I speak, right? So at this 95,506, we bounced from here, tried to go back up again, only to get rejected and come back down to this zone here, right? 94,929. That's our support area, or was our support area. Resistance was around 95,506 again, right? So now what's interesting about Bitcoin is we are declining coming off of this 100K, right? We are declining. So I'm going to go to a 1 hour chart really quick, because if we lose this area where we are now, we could very well find support at the 93,578. Or this 9380, which is our 200 EMA. What's concerning is if we break past this, the 200 EMA, we could very well come back to this 90,382. So that's interesting with Bitcoin just coming off of a high down to the 94,000. But it's not surprising that we are where we are, right? Because listen, we just reached 100K. It needed to cool off just a little bit so that it can bounce back to the upside if it chooses to do so. Let me say that, y'all. I always say too often that in the market, anything is possible. Nothing is guaranteed. So the SPY is definitely a prime example of that. I like to start on my 30-minute chart, right? Let me point out something really quick with the SPY. Normally when the SPY is down, or the VIX is down, the SPY is up, we have a problem. Again, I learned by patterns. The VIX is down and the SPY is down. Well, we kind of moved up just a little bit, but not the down that we should be based on, at the 600 range. We were still in the 16 range for the VIX. That's a little bit different in my opinion. I saw it down at the 14 range. That is interesting. So it tells me that we could very well have a very strong move in either direction, and it wouldn't surprise me to the downside. Let me say that. So looking at the SPY on this 30-minute chart, if you got in the SPY at the open to the downside at the 600, that would have been a really good move, right? From the 600 down to the 595.16, and I do believe I said in pre-market it would not surprise me. It would be shocking that if we didn't bounce from here or move, if we break this level, then we've broken a key level of support. That's what I said. I said if we break this level of 595.16, we have broken through a key level of support, and we could very well continue to the downside. Well, look what happened. Looks like we bounced off of that back to the upside, only to go sideways, right? So we still, even though we bounced here, that 595.16, I think the low of this candle was 595, let's say 595.20, only to move back to and go sideways. So we knew that we could possibly have trouble here around the 598.29 or 598.30 area. So that's where we are as of right now. Now, what's interesting is the SPY really, once we came off of that, it kind of just moved sideways, and that's it. Are we setting up for a quick, decline, as I like to say. Let's go look at this 5 minute chart really quick just to see what we have. Yeah, this is the SPY, and if you got into this move again off this 600 down to the 595, that was a really good trade. It was this bounce back to the upside here, which was a little bit interesting, only to move sideways. So I don't like to predict the market. Let me say that. I just like to trade what I see. But as of right now, I would definitely, if we should by chance, I would say come back down to this level, 596 or 595 area. We could very well, start moving back to the downside for the SPY, in my opinion. Under this 595.16 says a lot for me. As you can see, I've made this a little bit noticeable so that I can pay very close attention to that, because under that level, we could possibly have some trouble. So again, congratulations if you traded the SPY today. It was a good trade from the top to the bottom. Now Tesla does what Tesla does, right? So Tesla made a high today of 362.79, only to close at 338.59. Tesla does what it does. I can't say that enough, right? Let's go to the 5 minute chart for Tesla, right? So looking at it coming off, if you got in this trade at the beginning, right? At the beginning, at the open, buying off of this rejection here. We got rejected on this candle here, only to come back to the downside. We tried to go back up again. We got rejected again. So our 5 and 50 crossed here. Our MACD gave us a signal here, fanned out. I like to see this for the downside move, right? We're making lower. I just like this. All of this down to the, on the downside. Now, what would have been a little bit tricky here for me with Tesla is when that 5 MACD crossed again and we're back above the 5 EMA. So I definitely would not have stayed in this trade. In fact, I probably would have got out somewhere around here, because I like to scalp. I like to lock in my profit. So this little action right here, sideways movement, I do not like to see. Now this right here where the MACD crossed again back to the downside, I could have very well scalped that. Again, that would have been a very quick scalp. So Tesla, in my opinion, started doing some things that I really don't like to see when I trade. Now if you're one of those up down type things, that's okay. Whatever works best for you. I'm not saying that's the wrong thing to do. If you can get in at the right time, out at the right time, you can make some very decent profit. Let's say that, right? So I always say small profit equals big gains. So if you traded Tesla today, it was a nice move from the top, coming off of the top. And again, Tesla is trading, it started trading sideways. What's interesting about Tesla is this 3 o'clock candle here, coming all the way down to this 335, only to bounce just a little bit and come back and found support right here at 336.68. So it's going to be interesting to see how Tesla trade tomorrow. That 362.79 all the way down to 335.10 is interesting for Tesla, but that's what Tesla does. So if you traded Tesla today, I said congratulations. Again, waiting on that 5 and 50 to cross was a good trade. Looking at that MACD, the second confirmation, we're making lower lows under the 5 EMA. I like to see those things when I'm trading, right? So pay very close attention and make sure you have confirmation as to why you're entering your trades. And make sure, I need to say that again, you have confirmation as to why you are entering your trades. And once it goes against why you got in, get out. Live to trade another day. So NVIDIA coming off, we're looking at the 5 minute chart for NVIDIA. If you bought this out at the open, at the beginning, right? So the high of this candle, let's see, what's around the 142.05, and it looks, let's go to the 30 minute, because it looks like we're breaking out of a gathering spot. We were, as of here, this would have been our opening area here. So it looks like we broke out of a gathering spot back to the downside. So if you bought NVIDIA, I'd say around the 140.80 area, that would have been a nice trade from the 140.80 all the way down to this area. We knew we could have trouble at 136.67, and that's exactly what happened. It bounced off an area that we knew we could possibly have trouble. So if you bought it 5 and 50 cross here, MACD gave a signal here. If you bought it at the open, that was a really nice trade. We're under the 5 EMA. We're and we're making lower lows. Now, I would have gotten out before all of this little up down type thing here, in my opinion, because I would have been grateful for the profit that I made from if I would have entered at the opening. So another thing we have to know is when to get out of the trade and not overstay our welcome, because sometimes when you get greedy, you get nothing. So I always say be grateful and not greedy, right? So that's something to be mindful of. Now, what I don't like to see again is this up and down type thing right here, and moving kind of like sideways. And let's go to a 30-minute chart just to see. And as you can see on this 30-minute chart, it is doing exactly that. So sometimes you have to get familiar with going from the, to the different time frames versus just looking at it from one view, which is if you're using the 2-minute, the 5-minute, the 15-minute, or whatever it is that you use. Sometimes it's better to look at it from a different perspective. So again, this was the better trade for NVIDIA, and that would have been right at the open. This sideways movement, in my opinion, was just a waste of my time, and I would not have wanted to trade that. So if by chance you were able to trade NVIDIA today, I say to you, congratulations. Today has been a very, very good day, a productive day, a profitable day in the market. So if you took some good trades, I say congratulations. Now, again, y'all, look, normally when I do these videos, it's like what I see in the market and things that I look for. And one of the things I wanted to point out with the SPY, and this is the 5-minute chart, is this candle here. We have a hammer on this 5-minute chart bouncing off of support. So could I have entered this trade here back to the upside? Absolutely. We have a green hammer bouncing off support, 3 higher highs, MACD crossing here, only to give us, so I have several confirmations as to it's okay to enter the trade. However, look where price just stuck at this 550 EMA. We went nowhere. We went sideways. So yes, we see signals that we could very well enter the trade for a scalp. If I would have got in off of this bounce, I would not have stayed in this long here, because you would have been, especially if you're trading same day expiration, you're going to lose your profit. So again, it goes back to knowing when to get in, when to get out. Where's my support? Where's my resistance? Trading is about being able to identify those things, right? So yeah, y'all, I hope again that everyone had a very profitable day, a very, very productive day. If you could please like, share, comment, and subscribe. Why? Because we learn and we grow together, y'all. So until next time, be blessed as well as a blessing unto others.